Hi, I'm a helpful Southern California Honda person, and this holiday season we've been doing random acts of helpfulness, like giving out free Christmas trees, helping out at children's hospitals, and providing warm meals for the less fortunate. And during the Happy Honda Days sales event, we can help you too, with a great deal on an award-winning Honda, like the 2016 CR-V, a 2016 IIHS top safety pick. Click the dealer locator link to find a dealer near you and go to SoCalHondaDealers.com to suggest a random act of helpfulness for someone you know.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all hot dogs.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Here's Gingy.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Have you checked the children?
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? I think he's in trouble.
Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
Look, just a flesh wound.
Hey, Creep Show Radio freaks. I am Daniel Shine, joined, as always, by Todd Loya. How's it going, Todd?
I'm doing well this evening, and you are also, yes?
Yes, I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually getting ready to head out to a Caribbean vacation. We leave this Tuesday, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's freezing here, and it's going to be about, I don't know, like 83 degrees down there right now, so that'll be pleasant.
Yes, and we'll have some. I don't know if we'll do it at the end of the show. Maybe after the news, we'll talk about our next couple of weeks of the show, what will be going on while you're on hiatus.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, I was going to say, we will be with you next week. I guess we can throw that out there now, just so people can plan ahead with a commentary, which we're gonna pre-record for the, what year was it? 1996, I believe. Christmas horror flick Jack Frost, which is going to be really, really special. I'm looking forward to discussing the snowman rape scene. It's one of the most brilliant pieces of cinema in our lifetime. So I think that will be pretty entertaining for you guys. I don't know. We were thinking Jack Frost. I don't know. Maybe we'll even do one for Santa's sleigh down the line if we get time before Christmas. But
maybe we can always do Jack Frost too if we need a summer break, since it is more of the tropical ones.
Yes. I kind of feel that Santa's sleigh has a sequel in it with perhaps Ryback starring. I think that would be really interesting. But
Lively has the rights, and they do have a relationship with WWE Films. It could happen.
It could happen. Maybe both of them in it together. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
CM Punk is the elf. I don't know. It could happen, but probably not. But yes, we have a pretty stacked show for you guys tonight. A lot of interesting titles for you. Some pretty wild titles tonight. So we have a good mix. But first off, we'll kick it off with some recent news for you guys. On the Crow reboot, apparently Luke Evans may not be attached anymore. He apparently, after learning that director Javier Gutierrez dropped out of the remake, he is now likely to call it quits. In an interview with Den of Geek, Evans revealed that his patience is wearing thin and he's not sure how much longer he can wait for the long gestating reboot to get off the ground. Quoting Evans, "It's not no," said Evans. "Not no at the minute. The Crow is not for me." I think that's, I don't know, this doesn't make much sense. I think it's a little, I mean, I'm sure it's going to go ahead at some point, but I have other projects that are greenlit and ready to go, and projects that I'm very interested in, and, I can't wait much longer. As was reported recently, Corin Hardy is the new director on board for the project, and it looks like his job description may now include looking for a new Eric Draven. I'm a little bit disappointed because at one point they had Bradley Cooper attached to the Crow reboot, and I was just like, oh, god damn, that's just a horrible choice. Maybe not the worst choice, but it was a horrible choice. And Luke Evans, I can see actually pulling off a really good Crow. What do you think about that one, Todd?
That's an interesting one too. I think he could, but that's such a hard character in general. I mean, it's kind of, although we've seen how many actors played at this point, people always go back to Brandon Crow. I think this would have been an interesting choice. Just too bad we're not going to actually get to see it.
Yeah, I was always curious what happened to the female Crow, because that was the premise that had been talked about for a very long time, that we were going to get a female Crow, which I think would be kind of interesting if they're rebooting it, because you really wouldn't be comparing it so much to the original. It would be different somewhat, and I don't know that, or maybe that old script Rob Zombie was supposed to do, the post-apocalyptic one that eventually ended up becoming Salvation. That could have been something interesting to go back to, but we will see. In other news, actually a sequel to Eric England's film Contracted, which was put out by IFC Midnight late last year, earlier this year, I believe, and that film followed a young woman who is in rapid decay after picking up an icky, mysterious STD from a one-night stand. The sequel will continue where Contracted left off as newly infected Riley scrambles to track down those responsible for the outbreak and discovers a larger conspiracy that threatens to infect the world. England will not be involved in the follow-up, which is already in production in L.A. He's currently filming the indie comedy Get the Girl instead. This newcomer Josh Forbes is going to be directing from a script by first-timer Craig Wolandziak. Contracted co-stars Matt Mercer and Ally McDonald, and they're going to be joined by Peter Cieli, Mariana Palka, Morgan Brown, and Susan Voss. That's one. Did you get to see Contracted, Todd?
Honestly, that's one I still have. It's one I was dying to watch, and it's still in my stack of unwatched stuff. But I'll definitely watch it before we get the second one.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Actually, Carolyn Williams had a really cool small role in that one. I enjoyed it. I remember liking Thanatomorphos, which was a film that Unearthed put out. Had a very similar premise. I kind of enjoyed that one a little bit more. But, yeah, Contracted was actually pretty good, and I wasn't expecting a sequel, but I'm kind of looking forward to it, especially, an actual sequel, which I kind of almost would have expected them to just do similar storyline, new people, which seems to be what a lot of indie sequels have been as of late. But yes, another bit of news on the indie front. Actually, one that I think our old friend Chris McGibbon would be excited to hear about. Tales of Halloween, which is a new anthology horror flick that's kind of jumping on the VHS ABCs of Death bandwagon, and it's assembling a group of of directors who are going to be tackling a Halloween theme with each of their stories. And the newest addition to the cast, or the crew, I should say, Lucky McKee of May fame. McKee and 10 directors have joined forces with Epic Pictures under the name The October Society to create a series of interconnected stories, each with a unique Halloween theme. The crew includes Darren Lynn Bousman of Saw, Axel Carolyn, Adam Jarash, Adam Kask, Neil Marshall, Mike Mendez, Dave Parker, Ryan Shiprin, John Skip, and Paul Soleil. Directors Cash and Skip are to co-direct one of the short films together. This is what I'm looking forward to, actually. I'm kind of enjoying all these anthologies popping up. One of my few films that I was a part of was an anthology, and they tend to be fun, and I really like the idea that they're doing a Halloween theme. Hopefully they can maybe get this out in time for Halloween 2015.
That would be nice. I liked the selection of directors they picked. It's not just the average, throwback directors or anything. It's a good crop of, a mix of in between. A lot of not necessarily the indie guys, but there's some higher name guys. I mean, you got Neil Marshall and but it's definitely not. They're all names, is what I like the selection of names too.
Yeah, Mike Mendez, Dave Parker, big fans of those guys for going back a long ways. So it should be good. I think that the more anthologies, the better. I've always said, even when they crash and burn, which VHS Viral, I think is a good example of crashing and burning. But you look at ABCs of Death 2 and all those great concepts that probably would have never been greenlit as a feature-length film. You get to explore that. So I'm really, really happy. I don't know what the length is going to be on these particular stories. That'll be interesting to see. 10 directors. Obviously it'll be a little bit longer than what we get in ABCs of Death, but I'm not quite sure exactly how long they'll be. But yeah, last bit of news, at least from me, we have some release date news that I figure we should throw out there. Some Scream Factory news, which will kind of also segue into another news bit from Todd. We have a release date for the Blackula Scream double feature Blu-ray, which Scream Factory is going to be releasing March 3rd. You can pre-order that now up on Amazon. The new horror film Dark Hall, starring Tom Sizemore, will street on March 10th. And this will segue into kind of the news bit. There's several other films. I'm just really reading the ones that have a pre-order date up, but Exterminators of the Year 3000, which is now not going to be a double feature with Cruel Jaws, will be coming out itself March 3rd. And so Todd, tell us what went down with that. I know you were as excited as I was when they announced that.
Yeah. And it's kind of what I suspected, and at first Scream Factory was kind of quiet on the situation, and then, it was what was suspected, and they just kind of released a statement on their Facebook page, and I'm just going to read it verbatim to pass along the information on this one. So Scream Factory says, "We are sorry to report the following news, but the Bruno Mattei film, Cruel Jaws, will not be coming out as a double feature with Exterminators of the Year 3000 next year as originally planned. Exterminators will now be a standalone Blu-ray release at a lower price. It came to our attention through several of our fans that Cruel had several scenes in it of unauthorized footage from Jaws 1, 2, and 3, and other Italian-made shark films that make it impossible for us to release it in the U.S. and Canada without risking legal ramifications. We gave serious thought about editing out the material, of course, but it's quite a bit of scenes to remove, and we knew ultimately that doing that would not satisfy the film's fans or new ones that we wanted to attract. Again, we apologize for getting hopes up on this release of this cult curiosity. We also look forward to it, and no one is more bummed about it than us for having to turn tables so quickly after announcing it. And then it goes on, new pre-order release for the film. So, there you have it. I mean, I know we're both really excited for this. It's funny. With any of those Jaws ripoffs, you got to know there's a reason a lot of them haven't been out here. I mean, this isn't the last shark, which is the one that Universal, pretty much wasn't. But I think this one was in a similar situation, which is why we haven't had a release. I mean, the one good thing is,
pretty well known. When they announced it, I was thinking, well, son of a bitch, I wasn't expecting that one.
I honestly, I was like, well, maybe they work something out with Universal, since they've done a lot of stuff. But apparently not. It was the issue that, most of us suspected. So the one positive thing is I think that means that since they had grabbed it, that there is an HD master of it. So I wouldn't be shocked to see an overseas label put it out. So honestly, I hope 88 Films grabs it because they're a region-free company in general. So
they have been thus far, except Dead Next Door, is that the only one for some reason that wasn't? I know there's one with Blu-ray.
Not that I'm aware of, and that one hasn't been released yet, I don't think. Unless they announced that one would be locked. But I don't, so far as I know, nothing is. Everything I've got's been free. But I'll keep an eye out because I'm pretty sure that's farther down in the line of I forget the name of the line. So I'll double check on that for you though. That's what I definitely want to grab myself. That's kind of sad news, but Exterminators of the Year 3000, the price point right now is $13.99. So you can't complain too much. It's not the best of the Italian post-nuke titles, not even close, but it's really good to see those come out. And if it sells well, hopefully we'll get some more. I know Code Red has some on the way, but I'm a huge fan, and there's a lot of good ones that aren't out yet. Yeah, I would have loved to see them just double this one up with another one. And this is one that, if you remember, the Code Red release was they couldn't find a better master, and it ended up being the full frame one. So other than I do have a widescreen overseas copy of it, but other than that, I mean, it still looks pretty rough. It looks about on par with the Code Red. Actually, the Code Red quality is better than the widescreen overseas one. But I'm really looking forward to seeing this one in, high definition. I'm just hoping we don't get an announcement in another week. Oh, well, the master looked like shit. that would just be, not a good thing. But so all right. But it's cheap. It's on there. Speaking of, I also just wanted to throw out. They're not up for pre-order yet, but Dog Soldiers, which of course was delayed, we're finally going to be getting that in. What did they say, Todd? Was it March or April? I believe that one was April, and also that Phantom of the Opera got pushed back about 3 weeks. That was also another announcement that was made, so it's coming out in February now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them. They look like they still have a very strong 2015 with some more obscure titles coming our way as well. So I'm very excited about that. And this is not Scream Factory related, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Dead Snow 2, which of course has been up for pre-order on Blu-ray, just had a price drop. It's $11.99, at least as I'm live here on air, for Blu-ray. So that's a hell of a price. You're not going to get it cheaper in Walmart or Best Buy. Yeah, that thing just keeps dropping. That is a deal for that film. And also, we reviewed it. Yes, and from some of the early reviews, something I was actually on the Art Show, our co-host had, stated that we were just getting the one version, and he did already. It's on the Horror Society website if you want to read Chris McGibbon's review of the Blu-ray for Dead Snow 2. He broke the news basically that we are getting both cuts of the film on the Blu-ray, the one that's completely shot in English, and then the one that's the mix.
Oh, okay,
Which originally Well Ghost said they were just going to throw the English on, so I was really happy to hear that.
Oh, that's awesome news. Yeah, and that's a bargain. So if you're looking to, grab that film in time for Christmas, I think obviously we both highly recommend it for $11.99. Much, much better than the original. I'm looking.
Mm-hmm. It's 66% off. How can you go wrong with that?
I saw that. I'm like, God damn. I'd already had it pre-ordered. I mean, I wasn't disappointed if I was paying the full, $20 for it. But yeah, there you go. Good bargain. And my last little bit of release date news, Necromantic 2 is coming to Blu-ray. It didn't have an actual release date, but it is up there for pre-order through Blu-ray.com and Amazon, of course. And so more corpse fucking and beautiful high definition. You can't go wrong with that.
I'm thrilled about that. I mean, not just the corpse fucking. I mean that we're going to have the complete high definition versions. I get rid of this Bale disc finally, because as of right now, I can't get rid of the first one because the second one's not on Blu-ray yet either. So I still got the DVDs of both. So
yeah, I did get rid of the first one. I used to be a little bit anal about that too, but it's funny. I need space. So I'm sitting there, it's like, okay, Candyman 2's coming to Blu-ray. You can get rid of it. If for some freak thing that doesn't come out, you can easily get the DVD back. So yeah, clearing a little bit of space.
I actually took a box to FYE because I was just like, okay, I don't need any of these Godzilla ones now, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff that came out on Blue just to free up some room myself. I'm like, I'm getting $1.50, but whatever. Someone else will enjoy them.
Yeah, lately I've either been, just giving away the DVDs to friends or going down to Second and Charles. You do a little bit better there, actually, if you happen to have that store than FYE. I've found they tend to take more, particularly for sets too. You do actually do really well on sets at Second and Charles, for anybody that happens to have one of those near them.
Yeah, we don't. I tend to. Amoeba's very good about pricing too, and their credit's really good. And that's the one thing I hate doing credit at FYE because there's there's one thing I want that I end up using it on the website, spending too much for shipping, and end up with 2 discs. At least at Amoeba Records or Amoeba Music, they have a huge selection. I mean, they have everything. They even have the Warner MOD discs. I mean, they stock everything.
Oh, well.
But that's the Hollywood location. I don't know about all of them, but I know they're all giant superstores. So.
Yeah. I miss Fry's Electronics.
Yes.
I don't know if you're near one of those.
Oh yeah, I'm near about 3 of them. Sorry, didn't mean to make you jealous.
Atlanta's about the closest. We don't have too many here. I think that is actually the only one anywhere near the East Coast. They're mostly west, but yeah, they're pretty awesome too. They seem to get pretty much everything in. So
yeah, they do. They tend to be higher on the Scream stuff and some of that, but you can go in there and find deals and clear out a bunch of old Anchor Bay Blu-rays for $3, and it's just. Yeah, I go in there looking for the cheap stuff. What haven't I got? I'm still waiting for the Entity to drop. That's all I'm saying. I'm not spending $12 for a Bare Bones Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, you didn't pick that one up yet. Yeah, but you still got to have the Entity on Blue though.
Yeah, I'm waiting to do it. I just want to. When I feel like okay, if they would have just ported it over the extras, I wouldn't have cared how much it was. It just bothers me.
Yeah, they have a habit of doing that.
Because I got a bunch of the other ones, like Jack Brooks' Monster Hunter, Grace, a bunch of those titles from the era. They put out a bunch, and they were just all bare bones. I got them all for $3 each from from Fry's. So if you have a Fry's, go check it out. They definitely have deals if you look around through all their stuff.
Yeah, Vegas, I know. Vegas, Texas, California. You can you can do pretty good. And Fry's has porn too, so you're not going to get that at Best Buy. So there you go.
That is true. I didn't even think about that.
So, you can kind of thumb through those black Playboy covers blocking out the titles and pretend like you're looking at something else. That's usually what I do. If somebody comes by, you're just like, it's funny, they used to always stick it by the wrestling DVDs. I think they still do. I don't know. Or videos when I was a kid. And, I'd kind of like try and like sneak my hand over and grab a copy of busty babes and hide it and make it look like I was, I remember by XPW baptized in blood. I'm not looking at that.
Okay, that can't talk about XPW. That's a sore spot,
Yes.
I was front row for all those, and I still miss the Federation. Although I've talked to Rob, and it's supposed to come back. So I'm just hoping.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah. We could segue. I was at a few shows, XPW shows, so we were probably at some of the same ones. But yes. Anyways, moving on. Not to be nostalgic about California wrestling. Yes. Todd, you had a news bit on Twilight Time's Fright Night Blu-ray release.
I actually did.
When did you pre-order?
I got you there too. Okay. Well, we should say Twilight Time's second release of Fright Night on Blu-ray. Well, on January 20th, 2015, the 30th anniversary special edition of Fright Night Blu-ray Streets on January 20th. Pre-orders start December 30th on Screen Archive's site. So I'm guessing that's, what time do they always do that? Like 4 East Coast, 1 o'clock. Here, I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to have to tell the wife, we're pulling over at 1 o'clock so I can order this shit. But we do have specs. Yeah, well, we do have specs. And one other thing to note is, instead of the normal 3,000 units, they've done like the Blob and upped the number to 5. So there will be a few more copies, so I don't know if this is your time to sell off your old Blu-ray, but here's the special features as listed. We have the isolated score, audio commentary with writer-director Tom Holland, actors Chris Sarandon and Jonathan Stark, moderated by filmmaker Tim Sullivan. And then we have a second commentary with Tom Holland again, actors William Ragsdale and Stephen Jeffries, FX artist Randall Cook, moderated by journalist Jeremy Smith and Tom Sullivan. So we got a couple commentaries, both new, seem interesting. First ever Fright Night reunion panel, Fear Fest 2, from Fear Fest 2 2008, with Tom Holland, Chris Sarandon, William Ragsdale, Stephen Jeffries, Amanda Burst, Jonathan Stark, moderated by Rob Galuzzo. And then Shockview Drop presents Choice Cuts with Tom Holland and Ryan Turek. I'm not really sure what that one is. Then we have a vintage EPK with behind-the-scenes raw footage, steals and memorabilia gallery from Tom Holland's archive, and the original theatrical trailer. So,
sweet. You think it'll sell out as fast being a second release? I don't know. With them upping it, it's hard to tell on this one. I don't really know on this one. I'd like to think it will, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah,
I'm
I'm paranoid, so I'll be 1 o'clock.
Yeah, me
what
too.
date again?
December 30th.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah,
So
I'll be back from my cruise.
Yes. Well, it's funny. Apparently, every time I go to Arizona, I have a pre-order I have to be on top of. Last time I was there, I was waiting for Nightbreed. This time, it's this one. And the thing that's going to really mess me up is in Arizona, the time's an hour different, so I'm going to be like, okay, what time do I have to pre-order this?
Well, yeah. at least it's not while I'm overseas, because, I mean, God, just going on the website and ordering that fucking thing, they charge, internet, they charge you out the ass. I'll be, like, on a beach in Haiti, you know, the nieces and nephews, you know, come play with us. Like, just a fucking minute, I'm trying to order Fright Night. And this internet sucks and on this Haitian beach. But no, I don't have to worry about that. I'll be back on the 19th, so I'm good. But
well, lucky you. I did. All right. Well, okay. Well, one more real quick release note before we go into the bit of AMC news. We reported, I want to say it was last week, may have been the week before, about Full Moon releasing their first two films, as they're calling them, Mansion of the Doomed and Charles Band's Crash. Just a note, they're up available on Amazon, and they ship through Prime. They're $14.99 each if you want to grab them. I know Crash is a beautiful widescreen transfer. From the stills on Mansion of the Doom, it looks like a good full-screen transfer. Can't really yet until we see it, but thought I'd just throw that out there for anyone who wants to grab those, because it's easy if you got Prime. You get them in 2 days.
Sweet. Yeah, I did. I had neglected to add that to the news, so I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, Full Moon's been having some pretty good deals as well. I mean, they had the great, Black Friday stuff, but they also had a Thanksgiving sale, so definitely keep your eye out on Prime. They seem to really run a lot of different sales. I don't know if they've got anything else coming up this year or not, but
yeah, it seems like everything I look for, I don't get the sale price. It's like, okay, I'm still waiting on Dr. Mordred.
Oh, you don't have Dr. Mordred? I got that for $10, I think, over Thanksgiving, I believe, or not Thanksgiving. When was the last sale that they had on that? Maybe it was.
I remember that, and that's when the transfers one was cheap too. And when I looked, all they had in the store was the other ones, unless they just sold out at the time. Because I know they have X amount of copies in the store.
Yeah.
All I could find was the DVDs on sale, so I probably just missed it.
Okay. Yeah, I had saw, because their Blu-rays lately, they've gone up for like $25, and that one was like not budging, and I'm like, God damn it, I really want to order this, but I'm not going to pay $25. And I saw it drop to $10, and I grabbed it immediately. So I lucked out on that one. I don't have transfers yet. I still have to snag that one. But that was on sale too.
Yeah, I want to say it was. I mean, just through Amazon, it was like $14.
Yeah,
not even through the Full Moon store. I mean, directly from. Because I noticed at first they come out through their store, then eventually they end up on regular Amazon for a little bit lower price, depending.
That seems to be the theme.
All right. Well, okay. Let's jump into some Walking Dead news, I guess.
Yeah, some big Walking Dead news.
I was just saying, is that something people get excited about? I'm joking. All right. Well. If you watched Walking Dead this past Sunday, you may have heard Robert Kurtzman spill some beans about the future of The Walking Dead. It's revealed that a brand new character is soon going to be joining our beloved band of survivors. He broke the news when asked about Daryl Dixon's sexuality, which for some reason has been a hot topic of fan discussion. I know Dan's been on top of this one for a while. And he said, I can make it official. Daryl Dixon is actually straight, but coming back in the next half of the season, we're going to be introducing a very prominent gay character from the comics that'll be debuting, said Kurtzman. It's likely that Kirkman is referring to a character named Aaron, who first appeared in issue 67 of the comic series he created. Aaron is a resident of the Alexandria Safe Zone community, which is rumored to be the main setting in the fifth season second half. So I'm not that familiar with the comics, so I don't know.
Well,
Dan?
Yeah. Well, we can probably pick this one up maybe more.
Once we get into it's funny. I thought about holding off the Walking Dead stuff
because I know where it's going. But yeah, maybe we will. Although the other news bit is for the spinoff, so I guess.
I thought the other interesting bit that he actually considered that with Daryl, but they didn't want it to be too much like The Sopranos with, and they even mentioned the character's name, and he was trying. No, see, I'm getting confused with. Damn it, this is getting. I'm getting confused with this and my Sons of Anarchy after shows. That was with that and for Chips, I think. I can't even remember which character. I'm combining stuff. That's how my brain works. Okay, forget that last part.
I don't know. With Daryl, I mean, it kind of would have made sense, being that he's had a couple almost romances that he's never hooked up. But it would kind of feel like a bit of a shock move to just kind of boost the ratings to me. I mean, but, you know, you never know. I mean, it could have worked. Like I said, I think a lot of people were paying attention to that simply because it could make sense based on what you've seen. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's not actually the first gay character because Tara's a lesbian. And, you know, Andrea and Michonne, you know, maybe there's some debate to go on with them at back then. So, you know, I don't think it's really their first character. I mean, Tara's a lesbian character, so. But,
that is true. But no, how do I say this and be politically correct? Doesn't seem like America gets as riled up as for lesbians as they do to gay men. It just seems the way it works. So I think it's a little bit bigger deal for some reason. I don't get the difference, but yeah.
Well, all I can say is watch Game of Thrones because pretty much there is fucking of all kinds straight throughout that show. It's something to satisfy everyone. So
I'm still a couple seasons behind. I need to catch up in my downtime. Okay, then we have some casting news for I keep wanting to say ABC's. AMC's The Walking Dead spinoff. Cliff Curtis has been cast as the lead. He's a familiar face if you watch the TV shows Gang-Related, Missing, and or Trauma. The pilot. Okay, here we go. The pilot, which is being called Cobalt for the time being, was written by The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman and Dave Erickson. Adam Davidson will direct. Kirkman and Erickson, who serves as the showrunner, executive producers alongside The Walking Dead's Galen Hurd and Dave Appelt. Remaining characters that have yet to be cast include Cody Cabrera, Sean's whip-smart and rebellious teenage son, known as the angriest kid in town. Nancy Tompkins. I was so worried I was going to say Thompson. I'm just saying. A 30-something single mom with 2 kids. Nancy looks like the girl next door, and there's a bit of an edge to her. Now I'm just saying, now I think I already cast in my head. I don't think you can do that. I'm just saying. Andrea Chapman, a somewhat wilted flower child, 40-something. Andrea has retired to the outskirts of the city to recover after a horrible marriage. The big question is who will portray Nancy, the other lead. The reports that Ann Torv from Fringe was among the actresses who were seen for the part, but she is no longer in the running. All right,
well,
so we know our lead.
I mean, it's cool to kind of finally get some kind of an update on that. They are casting, and we'll probably pick up this discussion. There's a few things I want to say because I kind of see where Walking Dead's possibly going. I'm not a big comics reader, but I do know certain things that are coming, and maybe in a way they're kind of setting the stage for the end with one more power villain that is coming into the story, I would assume, at some point, much like the Governor. So yeah. But I think we hit all the news bits, and we can move on to the movies, correct? Did I miss anything?
Not that I see.
Okay, awesome. Well, our first film for the evening is Extraterrestrial. And this film is from writer-director Colin Minihan. It's the Vicious Brothers. But anyways, it follows a group of 5 friends who go on a weekend trip to the woods where they find themselves under siege by alien invaders who have crash-landed there. When one of the characters inadvertently kills one of these aliens, all hell breaks loose. So, yeah. Well, Todd, I'll let you go first on this one. What did you think?
You know, it's funny on this one because when I was watching it, I was like, okay, it's the Evil Dead. It's like Night of the Living Dead with aliens instead of zombies, and then we get to the ending, and I really felt like that. I was entertained throughout the film. I mean, I thought there was some cool stuff. I liked that they used traditional aliens, didn't go for a different look. That is when you think of an alien, that's the look you go with. I can't say that there was anything different. I just felt this was kind of like a middle of the road, but I did enjoy it. I wasn't bored. It's just everything I felt like I've seen before, which, it happens a lot in some of the stuff that ends up being mediocre, and it's just stuff that happened. I mean, by no means do I think it was a bad film, and I like most of the stuff IFC puts out, and this actually kind of falls in with a lot of the IFC stuff, where I just felt like it was good, it was entertaining, but it wasn't something I'm going to go back to in a week or a month or whatever.
Yeah, well, actually, I probably liked it a little bit less than you did. It's not horrible. I mean, the thing is, there's nothing original in this movie at all. It's a mishmash of several other alien abduction flicks and a lot of 90s stuff in there. I mean, even the ending was just, I've seen that 1,000 times. I mean, you see the ending coming from a mile away, very, very X-Files, and just there's really just nothing at all original in this movie, which doesn't necessarily matter. And like I said, there are entertaining bits. Michael Ironside is the Vietnam vet / marijuana farmer, was hilarious. But unfortunately, he's not in the film very long. In fact, actually, I kept watching it. I'm just like, kill these other fuckers off and let Michael Ironside be the star of the movie, because he's awesome.
Yes, I agree.
Jill Bellows is good as the cop, but yeah, I mean, all of the better actors. I mean, even Emily Perkins from Ginger Snaps shows up for a small part, and I'm thinking, like, God, I'd like to see more of these people. But yeah, I mean, it almost felt at times like they were doing a subtle parody on kind of horror cliches. I don't know if it was so much that, or if they just didn't write a particularly original movie. But yeah, it's not what you would kind of expect from the I believe this is the guy that did Grave Encounters, is it not?
I can't confirm that 100%.
Yeah, I'm about 99% sure. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
okay.
Grave Encounters. So, it's certainly not the, that one cracked a lot of people's, top 5 list, a few years ago. So I think this one had a little bit of hype behind it, and, hoping for it to be a better movie. It really wasn't. I mean, it blends comedy, suspense, parody, and, it had its moments where it was reasonably suspenseful. I mean, it's not like I said, it's not a horrible movie. I'd never really cared about most of the characters. And, I don't know, maybe it could have settled more on a specific tone, but I don't know. I guess I wanted to see more than the typical horror setup of these standard young people out to have a good time in a cabin, and I really didn't get it. But yeah, you don't get too many alien flicks, these days. So it was fresh to see that, and different than what you would see in your normal Sci-Fi Channel type movie with with horrible CG.
I'm just surprised it wasn't found footage somehow.
Yeah, that surprised me too, because that's we kind of have a theme of that the last several weeks. That it seems like we always have a found footage movie, or if not more than one every week.
Well,
we receive a film.
I think we might still be able to say that for this week, though.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, this is a flick. It's got its plot holes and issues, but I mean, I wouldn't spend the $8 necessarily to watch it, on demand, and I certainly wouldn't buy it. But if you get a chance to Redbox this one, you might enjoy it if you're into the alien stuff. But there's nothing you haven't seen before.
Same with Netflix. These IOC titles always end up on their streaming site if you don't get the discs, so you can wait for that. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely one to give it a month and you can get it on one of those once it's officially, because right now it's just VOD. So. Yeah,
absolutely. And for me, I give this one 2.5. It's very the good and. The good maybe just barely outweighs the bad, but don't rush out to see it.
I'm the exact same way. It's 2.5. And I do want to throw this, since neither of us mentioned it already. I thought it's a beautifully made film, I don't want it to come off that it was, a shoddy film at all.
No, not at all.
And acting. I could have bumped it up if we would have got more Michael Ironside, but...
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there, God damn it. I mean, I know he's probably not the most expensive actor in there at this point, and he was so cool, and then it's like, God, more of him. I mean, that was probably where the film was. When he was going through that thing, hunting down those aliens, I'm like, fuck, now this is going to get good. Then I'm like, we're kind of inadvertently spoiling something, but, we try not to, He flies away and lives with, the good aliens. That's what happens.
Yeah.
There you go. But yes, and I don't know. We could have had like a 3-boobed alien, show up, like a little homage to Total Recall. It would have been funny, but no, they didn't do that. But like I said, just don't go out of your way to buy this. You can.
Unless you haven't seen a good anal probing in a while, so.
Yeah, and there is an anal probe scene in this, which should probably sell it, but I don't know. It wasn't particularly graphic. I mean, evil aliens. We've seen it recently.
I think that was more of an anal grinding. I mean, probe doesn't have spinners on it, I'm thinking. But
that is true. We do have a spiked anal probe scene that felt a little bit out of place because, like I said, the movie's not all that over the top. I don't know. It just felt like, maybe direction or something. Maybe I don't know whether they should have gone more serious or just had a little more fun than they did. It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't settle on a tone for me. But yeah, that's Extraterrestrial. And our next film, actually, from director Eduardo Sanchez, of course, known for Blair Witch, exists. And this film follows 5 friends who travel to a remote cabin in the woods with plans to record their entire weekend. Their plans are quickly ruined when they realize the property is in the middle of Bigfoot's territory, and he's not happy to have trespassers. God, why can't these fuckers stop going in the woods? I mean, it would all be okay. Just stay out of there. Nothing bad ever happens, in the city. I mean, for the most part. I mean, well, zombies do tend to invade the cities, but yes. So yeah, this is another Sasquatch flick. We've had many over the years, and we've had a lot recently. Sasquatch Hunters, Willow Creek, the Lost Coast Tapes, to name a few. So yeah, this one kind of goes the somewhat goes the camcorder route with it, kind of a sort of
GoPro video.
Yeah, GoPro. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of evolving.
You did notice it seemed like you kind of switched in and out.
It was just that's why I'm kind of hesitant to just tag it as a found footage flick. That's a new theme. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because they did that purposely to set up. I mean, they were setting up. Okay, we're using these GoPros to go film what we're doing and stuff. So I liked, it made sense. I was like, let's just go and. If it would have been, they were just let's go film Bigfoot. Then it would have thrown it off. I liked the way that they set it up right.
Yeah, they did. I mean, and I guess and that's kind of a lot of kind of been, going, sort of found footage, but not completely found footage, which I don't know, it's probably a good thing. But yes, this is another flick. I mean, it's very well made. Sanchez is got a pretty good record as far as his films go. Actually, I don't believe I've disliked anything he's done since Blair Witch. I mean, Altered, I thought was, ironically enough, a great alien invasion movie that he did after Blair Witch. Lovely Molly was great. Seventh Moon, I thought, was a little bit underrated. And of course he had his VHS 2 segment. So quality-wise, I'd say he's done quite well since Blair Witch. I'm kind of surprised he's not a bigger director after that. But yeah, this one, I mean, you kind of have some of the typical stupid moves from some of the characters. Like going to the window to look for Sasquatch after he's already made first appearance. I'm like, yeah, let's stick my head out the window when this fucker just looked at the people. There were some moments like that were kind of questionable, but the film manages some really decent suspense, and the attack scenes I thought were very suspenseful. The Sasquatch bicycle chase. And Sasquatch wasn't actually on a bicycle, although that would have been cool. But there were several moments like that where I was really into it and really felt that this film was really doing well. I didn't give a shit about any of the characters particularly. I mean, it was again the typical cliches, but they managed to get a whole bunch of suspense up on the screen, and I certainly was never bored. I mean, it was a pretty lively flick. It's not my favorite Sasquatch flick. I mean, Night of the Demon, I think that has to go to that one. I mean, nobody gets their dick ripped off by Sasquatch.
I thought you were going to go with Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons was actually a damn fine movie from my childhood, but no. Once again, John Lithgow doesn't get his dick ripped off by Sasquatch in that one, so it's got to be Night of the Demon.
I agree with that one.
Yes, but yeah, anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Google it. It's fucking hilarious. But yes, I really enjoyed this one. What did you think, Todd? I think this is not the best Sasquatch flick, but it was very well made.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed this one also. Not surprisingly on this one. And I don't think I've seen all of his films like you did. I know I saw Lovely Molly like that. The Alien one you'd mentioned, but the last couple I have missed, and it's been stated on the old show numerous times. I think our last show we had a big discussion on Blair Witch on the old show. Mm-hmm. Not a fan of the film, not a fan of the non-ending on that film. We kind of have that on this, but kind of not. I definitely like this one, and I definitely would recommend it. I'm actually bummed that Lionsgate announced this was going to be a DVD-only title when it comes out on disc.
Oh, wow, really? So, that's a shame.
Yeah. But, so, there's your warning if you did. For this one, I'm actually going to give it a 4.
I can't quite go as high as a 4, but I give this one a 3.5. And if you are a Bigfoot aficionado, it's definitely one of the better flicks. And like I said, it's just very entertaining. It once he shows up, and I do want to point this out because we've thrown out Blair Witch. This is not a film where you don't see Bigfoot in the film. He's there. He's raising hell. You kind of get a really close-up look towards the end, but he's always there. He's always, whether he's, throwing a camper down a hill, you're always seeing Bigfoot do his thing in this one. So if you don't
very
care
good point.
If you don't care for the Blair Witch style, that's not what this is. He didn't go back to the well. I give this one 3.5. Definitely check it out. It's a great rental, and I mean, for me, actually, I will purchase this one because I think it's one I will probably revisit. So, 3.5 from me, and a 4 from Todd.
And if you want to check it out now, it is available on VOD. It was kind of funny. This has happened to me the last few weeks because I was like, what do I watch first? It was Extraterrestrial or Exists, and I'm like, I think Extraterrestrial is going to be better. This is just more of this, Sasquatch shit. I just seen several recently that just weren't that good. So, but I was wrong, and I'm happy I was wrong. So that one gets a recommendation. Do they have a release date on it yet, Todd? I believe, and I want to say it's February 3rd, but I'm double checking that as we speak. I'm trying to be as quick as possible. I know there is, and I think it is. Yes, February 3rd, DVD only. And the Amazon pre-order is up for $16.98. Right now it's only 15% off. I expect that to drop. Or I know Walmart normally has those Lionsgate titles pretty cheap on those release dates too.
Yeah, my advice is wait. You'll get it $10 to $12 max at Walmart. But anyways, moving on to actually a theatrically released horror flick that kind of everybody, I think, kind of forgot about. I'm hoping the same thing. I mean, I don't know if it's a good film or not, but I'm hoping the same thing doesn't happen to The Pyramid this weekend. Because it's...
I kind of have a feeling it will. It's just December's a hard month for stuff like that.
Yeah, it is, and I'm like, that's why I was actually talking to a friend of mine earlier, and I'm like, we should go see The Pyramid, just because, we always bitch it, because it's not, I actually don't even really fully know what it's about. Exactly, but I'm like, it doesn't look like your typical theatrically released horror movie, and I feel like, as a community, us horror fans have to go out and support those, because who knows, it might be another Collector, which, I saw and I was like, holy shit, that was great. Or even a Pandorum, which actually had a budget and nobody went to see. But anyways, end rant. This movie is As Above, So Below. And it follows, and just from the Blu-ray, the back of the Blu-ray, miles of twisting catacombs lie beneath the streets of Paris, the eternal home to countless souls. When a team of explorers venture deep into the uncharted maze of bones, they uncover the dark secret that lies within the city of the dead. A journey into madness and terror, As Above, So Below, reaches deep into the human psyche to reveal the personal demons that come back to haunt us all. This is one that I know we were on vacation, and I did not get to see it in theaters, so I guess I'm ranting on myself for that one. But I was really intrigued because it did appear to be something a little bit different than what we normally normally see. And the catacombs. I mean, my God, if you haven't been there, I mean, it's one of the creepiest places in the entire world. I mean, it's just a great location for a horror movie. It's not the first horror movie that was set there, but it might be one of the first ones that is shot in the catacombs. They did not have any sets, apparently. There's a brief making of featurette, a very sadly too brief making of featurette where they talked a little bit about it. And it really worked for this film. It really added to the creep factor of knowing that they were really shooting there. And the flick is, I mean, it's basically, for those of you that are into classical literature, it's inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. It really kind of follows that sort of storyline, and I enjoyed it a lot, actually. The storyline was very interesting. It opens up in Iran, and really sets kind of a great tone for the rest of the movie. A lot of people really didn't quite seem to know what to make of this flick by the trailers, and I can tell you it's very, very good. It's not like I said, it's not your typical found footage flick. It's another one that trying not to give away too many spoilers, but there's all sorts of really freaky imagery in this, from mouths opening up on the floor. I thought that was really cool, and kind of almost gave me kind of a Silent Hill vibe at times, although it's not quite that type of movie. I'm trying to kind of compare it to stuff for people, but it's not a particularly gory flick, but there are a few nasty bits. Somebody's head gets smashed into the pavement, and I really felt the suspense picked up as this went along. I loved it. What did you think, Todd? I know this was cool.
Yeah, it's funny because I had no idea what I was expecting when I popped out. I remember seeing the trailers. I was like, a lot of time I dismiss a lot of the found footage or POV type stuff. And it's funny because when I was watching it, I saw the director's name on it and realized it was the director of one of my favorite found footage films, and that is the Poughkeepsie tapes. Still unreleased, sadly, in the U.S. And, he also did Quarantine and Devil. So I was like, okay, that piqued my interest, and I was not disappointed. I didn't know about, you said it was based on I almost said Comedy of Terrors. That is not what you said.
No, it's a little bit more depressing than that. No, Dante's Divine Comedy.
Thank you.
Somebody might be listening to this show and get the reference. I mean, we have intelligent fans, but loosely based.
Yes. So I didn't know what I was getting into, and it was definitely different. I liked the atmosphere, and without giving too much away, you mentioned some of the stuff that pops up, and it's definitely got some weird stuff going on. And I really liked it. I don't know if it was my favorite of the bunch this week, but I definitely I don't know. That's what it is. Not the easiest one without giving too much away, because a lot of it is takes place in the catacombs. It's one of those films where you feel like you're kind of going on the ride with them, and you don't really know what's coming up and what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's different. Like I said, there's an actual mythology behind this that you don't really see in these sort of supernatural horror flicks anymore. I mean, the ghost stuff's all well and good, but even some of the better ones, it's like I've basically seen this before, and this is something that I really haven't seen this before, and
yeah.
the location, like I said, my God, I mean, you're probably in the scariest position you can be in. I mean, like I said, the catacombs again. If you haven't been there, I do know we do have a listener from France. I do know of one. So there's at least somebody that might listen to this show that can tell you it's just a great location to go if you want to just freak the fuck out. And they captured that very well in this. And like I said, as the film picks up towards the end, I thought things got quite suspenseful. Again, it's not a bloodbath. There were certain moments where I felt maybe they could have gone a little bit more horrific with some of the nastiness, but it's sure as hell creepy. This is one you definitely want to watch in the dark. Don't multitask. Just kind of kick back, put your feet up, and just enjoy a really great scary movie. And yeah, for me, this one's an easy. This one's an easy 4 stars for me. I would say this is a buy, in my opinion. It's just very rare that you get a theatrical horror film that's this interesting. And yeah, that's about all I can say about it. It doesn't quite rise to the level of a classic, but it's a must-watch, and I bought it. I'm very glad that this was in my collection. Minor rant, though, I will throw out there. This one is a little bit pricey right now, and there really are no extra features. There's a brief making of that's like a 5 or 6 minute fluff piece that you might see on HBO.
And the one thing I noticed is they didn't even bother encoding it for different regions of the world, because you notice we just have little arrows and little asterisks. We don't have. It doesn't say play movie. It just has little symbols.
Mhm. Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I probably did notice it. Yeah.
And that's when they encode worldwide. I was like, damn you.
Yeah. They didn't really. I don't know. It's like they kind of didn't even treat it as a. This was a theatrical release, give us some extras. And it's $25 on Blu-ray at Walmart. So, I was kind of expecting a little bit more from the package. Because, I mean, like I said, this is a particular movie. I mean, give us a commentary track. It had to be an interesting shoot, with the locations. And they only kind of briefly touch upon that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I would have liked a little bit more, but I mean, thank God the movie delivered. So that's what's most important, especially on the new stuff. You never know, maybe in 15 years, if they're still around, we'll get a Scream Factory Collector's Edition.
You know what? I don't know. Todd, did you rate it yet?
I did not, and I was going to give it a 4 also, so we're on par with it. Definitely, by your means of purchasing, even if you purchase, Amazon, digital, whatever, definitely check it out. It's definitely a good new horror film, which we don't get that a lot out of the mainstream. That's the part I want to stress, out of the mainstream.
You know what this really reminded me of? Chernobyl Diaries.
It's funny. I was going to bring up earlier that it's every once in a while one comes out of nowhere of these found footage films, and Chernobyl Diaries was the one that was coming out of the last one that I wasn't expecting anything, and really got a really good film out of. That is funny. That's the one you thought. Well,
yeah, and Chernobyl Diaries at least had some hype behind it, and I was sitting here thinking, from the maker of, Paranormal Activity, and there's a whole. Chernobyl Diaries was all over the horror sites, and nobody went to see it. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, it was actually a good movie. I mean, I know some people have their issues with it, but it was actually, in my opinion, scarier than, any of the Paranormal Activities, with the exception of the last one, which I haven't watched yet. And yeah, it was just like another one. Sometimes, I don't know, it just seems like people ignore the better movies. So yeah, I don't know. I have a double feature with this one. I don't know, maybe that'll be a poll I'll put up today, because Chernobyl Diaries is one I'll ask people about, and usually their answer is, you know what, I kind of like that one too. And it's like, but why didn't you go see it? I thought that was That one I saw in theaters, actually. It was a great theatrical experience. But anyways, yeah. 4 and 4 for As Above, So Below. I'd probably throw this out as the best film of the night. For me, for sure. But yes, I think we have a brief musical break. Couple minutes, it's our pee break thing. So
yes, we have 4 minutes and 24 seconds of a Christmas double feature. I'll just go with that. So we have 2 short songs. So
sweet.
I'm sure Dana, as soon as we're done, he'll know what they're from. I'm gonna leave it up in the air, and hopefully Dan will tell you what we just listened to. All right.
Santa's watching, Santa's creeping, now you're nodding, now you're sleeping. Were you good for Mom and Dad? Santa knows if you've been bad. There might be a treat for you in Santa's bag of toys, but Christmas won't be fun and games for naughty girls and boys. Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, everybody celebrating. Did you do your best this year? Too late now, 'cause Santa's Santa's watching, Santa's creeping, now you're nodding, now you're sleeping. Were you good for Mom and Dad? Santa knows if you've been bad. There might be a treat for you in Santa's bag of toys, but Christmas won't be fun and games for naughty girls and boys. Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, everybody celebrating. Did you do your best this year? Too late now, 'cause Santa's here.
I'm looking for the warm side of the door, where the fire's bright and it's burning every night. Everybody will be there, and they'll be smiling at me, and I won't need no more on the warm side of the door. My brother's there on the warm side of the door. He'll call to me the way he did before. There'll be thunder and lightning, but we're safe and sound, and I won't need no more on the warm side of the door. There's always people who love you, that will kiss you and hug you, and it's always Christmas on the warm side of the door. There's always people who love you, that will kiss you and hug you, and it's always Christmas on the warm side of the door. There's always people who love you, they
there, Dan? Were you rocking out or what?
I missed the first song because I was doing something else. I only caught the tail end of the last one. So what did we listen to? I know I'm horrible not listening to our own songs, but like I said, it is our break.
That was a double feature from Silent Night, Deadly Night. We had Santa's Watching and The Wrong Side of the Door.
Oh, okay, awesome.
What else I get to bust some well, because they had to make their own Christmas music for the film. What else I get to play those songs? I didn't figure this.
Huh?
No, I didn't think this was a week for another trauma song, and our December music breaks that'll be our last one, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to. I was going to say, yeah, we will have to try and get in as many Christmas horror themed songs for you before we bring back trauma. But yeah, I don't know. The whole time during break, I was just thinking of how awesome it could be if Ryback were in Santa's sleigh too. I really think it could work, but kind of a more roided up Santa. I don't know. It would be cool, but yes, alas, we probably won't see that. But
no, we'll get 15 rounds first.
Yes. I my favorite part of that interview was they offered me fucking 12 rounds too.
And you know what? If he took it, we could have been getting that for $3.99 this past week from Amazon. But no, we get the Orton one.
We get the Orton one, so that's the way it goes. Who knows? 12 rounds 3 is coming too, I believe. But anyways, moving on. It's a horror show. We can't keep talking about wrestling. Killer Mermaid, which is a new film. It's actually a different kind of Serbian film. There's no baby rape in this one, and this follows two beautiful young women who go on an exotic Mediterranean vacation and uncover the watery lair of a killer mermaid hidden beneath an abandoned military fortress. What was once a carefree adventure becomes a deadly fight for survival. So yeah, this is actually a little bit different than you'd expect from the cover. It's not another cheesy creature feature, which is why we're very proud to bring it to you today. Actually, Franco Nero's this one, which was really cool. But Todd, I'll let you go first. What'd you think?
This is what I was really looking forward to since it's been under the Nymph title, which, I don't know, kind of works better for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'll be honest. I thought it was all right. I was probably expecting a little too much out of it. I wanted more. I wanted more of the title character, the Killer Mermaid. It kind of felt like typical, teens on vacation, then we get into some trouble. I don't know if I was expecting too much, and I did forget it was a Serbian film.
Yeah, you get flashed by an old homeless person more than the mermaid, I suppose.
Yeah. But I didn't hate it. It just was, I think I mentioned off air, I put it on par with something like Amphibious. At least with Amphibious, I was able to watch it in 3D. I don't know. I wasn't loving this one.
I thought, yeah.
No. It didn't make a huge difference. It was good 3D, but yeah, see, the title already, Killer Mermaid 3D, already would have been an extra point for that award. Some of the acting was a little off. I give it a pass because we are, it is a Serbian movie. It's not. A lot of these people are native English speakers, but I just was unimpressed. I think I may have been expecting too much. I'm curious your thoughts, because it did have Franco Nero, which, was a big deal.
Well, actually, it's funny, because, the film has its flaws, but I actually liked it. Actually, the good outweighed the bad for me. I guess we'll start with the good first and foremost. Franco Nero is in this film. That's always something to celebrate. I think he's a great actor. Of course, a huge cult movie figure, the original Django, for those of you not in the know. And I thought he was fantastic in this. He had some pretty badass moments. Another thing I will say about this, much better production values than you see in your typical cheesy creature flick. The scenery is absolutely gorgeous. It really made you feel like this was a much bigger movie than it actually was. It added fantastic production value. The girls are easy on the eyes. Kristen Kleb's friend, the actor Natalie Byrne, knew how to rock the booty shorts, so that always that's nice. So the film really looks beautiful, and I liked the mermaid. I thought they had an interesting design on that. On the negative side of it, I thought the acting was actually pretty good. It's kind of the typical, if you've seen some of Brian Yuzna's flicks.
I was thinking Filmax. That is exactly the best example.
Yeah, where it's like, he has an international crew, and it kind of comes off as a bit choppy. Although I didn't even think it was quite that bad. Beneath Still Waters is one I'll throw out there, where the acting, I think, came off as a little bit more uneven than it actually was. But I didn't have a huge issue with that on this one. One of my big complaints, the gore is a little bit repetitive. The action scenes were, I don't know, it wasn't as exciting as it could have been. Like the whole thing where they're on the boat fighting the mermaid, it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't feel like it was choreographed particularly well. It's like they had almost all the ingredients right, but I just some of the gore and the action bits with the mermaid could have been a little bit better, but nonetheless, I mean, the suspense is there. There's some cool twists. Kind of a possible sequel set up that I think could be cool. And like I said, you got Franco Nero. He doesn't do a whole lot of doesn't do many films nowadays, let alone genre films. So he definitely added to it. For me personally, for you, for anybody else, it may be a little bit different. And just another word of the day. It's not your typical Sci-Fi Channel production, and I'm not implying that it aired or will air on Sci-Fi. I'm just, that's kind of what this appeared to be. Actually, it was funny. I never really took a second look at it until you kind of recommended it. I mean, it's a type of movie I will probably pick up eventually anyways, but I didn't realize that this was, more of a proper film, I guess we could say. Yeah,
and I see, that's the thing. I think I may have been just too because I've been following it since it was Nymph, because I did really like, and I may have been alone. I did really like the director's earlier effort, Apocalypse of the Dead, and that was definitely the opposite of this production-wise, but he managed to pull off a film I enjoyed, even though a lot doesn't make sense. And that was, I don't know why I was expecting any different, actually, when I think about it. But like I said, I didn't hate this one. I was expecting a lot more. I mean, maybe I think I did want a Filmax Brian Yunza type film out of it. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not. And I don't know, I guess just the premise, too, because mermaids are not something that have been tackled a lot. It's only been done really a few times. She Creature, actually, the Stan Winston reboot, when they did those about 15 years ago, is actually a really good... that is one that I'm still disappointed that the DVD and the VHS were the R version, and the ones that aired on Cinemax were uncut.
and I saw my VHS tape somewhere of that.
Really? I mean, I know. Are you thinking of Teenage Caveman? Because I didn't think Sea Creature was.
I could have sworn there was two that was cut, and I remember Sea Creature being one. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm almost 100% sure that it was both.
Yeah, I know Teenage Caveman kind of bordered on soft porn anyways, but yeah, I'll have to check that out. But still, nonetheless, I thought it was a great movie.
Oh yeah, but I'm definitely a big fan of the Sea Creature reboot. I actually like that whole little Stan Winston wave.
Yeah, I recall. Yeah, actually, I recall not really hating any of them. Teenage Caveman was kind of an interesting career move for the director of Kids, but
which is why it borderline on softcore.
Indeed. He should have probably had some underage people in the movie. I don't know, but yeah, no, that was actually an interesting line. I still actually have the action figures for those. But anyways, Killer Mermaid, for me, I give it 3 stars. If you're, and it could have been so much more. I mean, like I said, I don't know how much scenery really adds to a movie for you listeners out there, but it really felt it really added to it for me. So many. It wasn't like, oh, we shot this thing in our backyard or a warehouse. I've been there. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Although the last film we did, we got some good locations, but this one definitely had that going for it, and it had Franco Nero and a cool, not quite overused, creature. So yeah, it gets 3 stars for me. Don't go out and buy it. Although I think I bought it. I think I got it for like $10, and I'm happy with it. It's different.
Honestly, I'm not even complaining because I didn't grab that one right away, and I know I told you I was like, it's $10 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not what I'm saying I won't watch again. I just expected a little bit more out of it, and I'm not too far off from you. I'm giving it a 2.5. So on this, honestly, I just say proceed with caution. You now know what it's about. You know what you're getting into. You're not getting Killer Mermaid from opening credits to end, so...
No. You're getting homeless person, killing people with an anchor hook, which I guess maybe, too, that was one thing, like, I'm like, God, if they had just gotten some better gore in this, it just, I don't know, it just seemed like maybe money went to other things, and... I don't know. They could have spent a little bit more time on the action sequences and the gore. It was kind of, I mean, nothing wrong with it. It was just a little bit repetitive, and I thought it could have been a little nastier in the gore department. But nonetheless, entertaining movie. So yes, moving on. Actually, I have a solo for you guys this evening. Movie I've been kind of curious to watch for a little while now because it had kind of gotten some good buzz in the indie circuit, and that is Skinless. Skinless is from director Dustin Mill, who has had quite a few films lately. Night of the Tentacles, Easter Casket. God, what else has he done? He's Zombie A-Hole. He's had all sorts of different flicks coming our way as of late, and this is sort of one that I was really curious to see because it seemed a little bit more serious than some of his other films. It kind of read. In fact, actually, I think I first became aware of it when it was Indiegogo campaign as the Ballad of Skinless Pete, and it looked really cool. But anyways, from the back cover, a brilliant medical researcher in his prime is stricken with cancer. Dr. Pete Peel formulates a potential yet unconventional cure for his illness, but the clock is running out. He fears that he'll die before clinical trials prove the efficiency of the treatment. So he decides to make himself a human guinea pig with unintended consequences. Just expanding on that a little bit, he injects himself with this worm that kind of eats cancer cells, but at the same time it causes your flesh to be eaten away. Very, very kind of gross premise, and the highlight of this film is some really nasty, gooey effects work. He looks particularly disgusting. Some of the victims as he sort of loses his mind and secretes this stuff, causing other people's skin to melt. That's the big highlight of this movie. If you're an effects fan, and certainly working on a very small budget, because this is micro budget cinema. I doubt he had more than a few $1,000s to do this film, and he managed some really cool effects, some really cool melting effects, and some creepy moments. The issue that I had with this, and again, I have been here before with some films that I've worked on, and some of what hurts, number one, not the lack of money so much on this one, it was really the acting. Because the acting, the quality varies. It's not particularly horrible, but there were moments, particularly with some of these research scientists where I'm looking at them and thinking, no way. It was kind of from the Yui Bowl casting department where, you get like some tattooed chick and you're thinking, okay, this isn't really somebody that would be doing this work. The lead act,
the Tara Reid effect.
Yes, the Tara Reid effect. Let's cast Tara Reid as a rocket scientist. It's not quite that bad. I mean, again, because I've been there before. I mean, I've definitely seen worse acting in micro-budget indie horror flicks. So the lead actor, he kind of comes off as a little bit goofy towards the beginning, and there's a few moments where it almost felt like, he was making Night of the Tentacles again, where it's kind of more humorous, and actually it's the same guy, I believe. What really killed me on this one is he has such a great premise here. I mean, because he's kind of in love or obsessed with, depending how you look at it, his partner, and you kind of have moments where they really could have, and I know that's probably what he was going for. Cronenberg's The Fly, the tragic romance angle, which it really kind of goes more to that towards the end, where I really thought the film was working quite well, but some of the stuff that came before it, the so-so acting, kind of bogged it down a little bit, which is really disappointing because, like I said, this movie really has moments of greatness, but it just can't really rise above the shortcomings. But nonetheless, like I said, if you're an effects fan, there's some cool moments. He injects a dog at one point, and you kind of get a cool sort of old school, skinless dog creature that was kind of cool. I mean, all very do-it-yourself. I mean, this is more advanced than some of the stuff that I've seen from, my personal dealings with effects people. But I enjoyed it. If it just established more of a bond and chemistry that you got with, Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis and The Fly, but, again, it's a, few $1,000 movie. Having said that, I still kind of recommend this one for indie fans. It has some moments that are quite creepy, where he's kind of spying on her using the bathroom. That I don't know if he was going for comedy or, like I said, it just I don't know, maybe kind of almost like Extraterrestrial again, where I wish they had just settled on more of a set tone. But nonetheless, it's gross, it's nasty, it's a cheap thing to pick up. I think you can get this for like $10 or $12. I definitely recommend it. And God, if only they were able to, harness because it gets much better as it goes along. When I was watching the beginning, I was thinking like, oh shit, this is going to be a rough one, and surely enough, they kind of brought it together towards the end. And I'm giving this one a 3. I enjoyed it. It's a pretty good indie film, all things considered, and there is some full frontal nudity, so there you go. You can't complain about that. And it's weird. Actually, the lead girl, her acting felt like it improved a little bit as it went along. She was a little bit awkward at the beginning, and then maybe the lead actor too, because he was in makeup. I sort of overlooked some of the rough acting at the beginning. But yeah, it gets a 3. I actually think you'd probably like it, Todd. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued from it. I may have to pick that one up eventually.
Yeah, it's probably the best movie I've seen from him. Although there's a couple I haven't seen, but it's different from certainly Easter Casket, and I should throw that out. If you're familiar with his work, because he's very CG heavy in some of his other stuff, that's not really the case here. This is all old school effects, so that was certainly a plus. So yeah, this one gets 3 stars. And so segueing into the next review, Todd, we're trying to decide, do you want to do a solo for Zombeavers? Because I was beaverless this weekend. They got your copy to you.
I'm overflowing with beaver over here. I'm thinking I'm just going to give. I think I'll just do a little one, and we'll tackle it again when we get the U.S. release, or maybe next week, depending on when you get it. I'm just going to do a quick little one. We are running short on time. We did advertise it. I don't really want to bump this one because we're not sure when you're getting yours, and next week we are doing the commentary. So yeah, I'll just do a little brief. Yeah. I'll just do a little brief. I guess a little mini review. I mean, I'm sure Dan's going to be pretty close with me on this one, so, well.
I had a Zombie Beavers. Yeah.
Well, okay, The tagline is, you'll all be damned. You have to give your tagline, the superior tagline, in my opinion.
My tagline is the beaver that eats you, which, I guarantee you they would have sold 100,000 copies.
I told my kid that he was dying for like 15 minutes. I did give you full credit, too. I didn't try to steal it.
I know. Okay. I need to work for them.
Well, I guess contact Epic Pictures in the U.S. before they release it here, and there you go. Well,
I think that pretty much kills the Walmart release, though. So.
Well, Twitch Film said Zombeavers is damn excellent. Get it? Damn excellent. Well, when a group of college kids take a vacation at a riverside cabin, little do they know a swarm of deadly zombie beavers have taken an interest in them. A weekend of sex and debauchery soon turns gruesome as the beavers close in on the kids. Now they must fight for their lives and find a way to fend off this pack of relentless, bloodthirsty, mutant beavers. There is not a better description of that. It 100% delivers what it promises. I mean, I'm honestly trying to describe the film. I guess, most of what I was going to say anyway. Probably should have pre-read that. Yeah, it's what you'd expect. A group of kids decide to take a weekend trip to their uncle's cabin in the woods, and they're, one of them's sad because of their boyfriend, no boys. Then, of course, if it starts off as a girls' weekend with no boys allowed, what happens? The boys show up, and and then the Zombeavers show up, and I have to say one thing right off the bat. I liked that the Zombeavers were practical. Mm-hmm. It could have went the other way, And they weren't ashamed of that, so it was definitely added to kind of a cheese factor. And the nudity's there, Dan, don't worry. We get a top.
Is there actual beaver?
Okay, by actual...
Referring to the genitalia.
There is not actual. You only get some topless chicks. Sorry.
Alexander Aja should have done it.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's what you expect. It's a short, an hour and 20 minutes, I believe. It's exactly what you expect. It's a bunch of zombie beavers killing each other, and eventually turns the humans. There's a nice little homage to Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead 2 in the opening, and how the outbreak happens. If it's not, it has to be. I'm trying to, because I mean, the movie really does describe itself. From that description, you get exactly what you want. Without giving one little point away, I think I already kind of did misadvertently. I mean, yeah, it's just a fun, mindless zombie. I'd say it's on par with a smaller Piranha 3D, because it is a very small. You're just on a lake and you just got a few characters. It's not like a giant Hollywood film, but it's well acted. I mean, there is some cheesy bits. Honestly, it's hard to expect. I don't know. It's called Zombeavers, It's hard to expect anything highbrow out of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And the Blu-ray looked great. I mean, the UK disc. It's got auditions and a few extra featurettes, deleted scene. All of them are only a few minutes. It's nothing too meaty, no commentary, darn. But I recommend it if you...
What was it like working with the Zombeavers sort of segment?
No. I do have to say, there was quite a few beaver jokes throughout the film. Smelly beavers. There's quite a few beaver jokes, which made me laugh. I don't know if it's the 13-year-old inside me or just beaver jokes are funny. I definitely say if you... Okay, I'm just going to give it a 4 straight up, and you know what you're getting into. The movie's called Zombeavers, If you like horror comedy, this is... It delivers in that category. It's fun, it's funny, it's mindless. I mean, it's not highbrow by any means. It knows what it is, and it's not ashamed of it. And again, I give them points for going practical. There might have been a couple CG shots here and there, but nothing that I noticed, and it was for the most part just straightforward practical effects, and there's some makeup work on some of the characters later. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I was going to say 120 minutes. It was a fun 80 minutes. Definitely worth checking out.
Well,
when it arrives stateside.
To Zombeavers, you're going to be in trouble, so that's good to hear. There's so many cool things I would have done. I mean, I would have had like a scene where, the dude's going down on his girlfriend and all of a sudden it's like the beaver pops out from under the sheets. There's so many cool, goofy things. I'm like, I would do that if I were making this film.
Well, there is a little Easter egg post-credit, so be sure to stay tuned after.
Oh, okay. And probably... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I do believe this is coming to VOD in January.
Okay, yeah, and I wanted to just throw out, because in case you didn't listen to the show the last week, this is actually from Amazon UK, and it is a region-free Blu-ray, so, you might as well. I don't know if we're going to get a Blu-ray release in the States or not, but it's region-free, and it comes out to, like 18 and change American?
It does, because it was at £10, so it would... Shipped, it was a little, it was right under 19. I did see there's a couple copies on Amazon through third parties, but they're going to run you like $30. So
yeah, you might as well get it off UK. Which if you have an Amazon membership, it's the same thing. You just have to temporary. Although I will say it did kind of fuck me up for a minute because I forgot about, I guess, changing the currency back or something. I don't know what it did, but nonetheless, you can change it. It's pretty simple. It walks you through it, and it's $18, and takes. You'll get it sooner, I guess, if you're on the West Coast, because Todd got his a couple days ago, and I'm still waiting.
I normally have a week turnaround from the UK. I did just order. I ordered a couple of weeks ago, but it finally shipped. I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday, from Amazon DE Ginger Clown 3D. So hopefully I get that in a week. I'll let you know if that's reason
too.
I don't know yet. I will let you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, absolutely. So we have one more quick review. It's probably just going to, in this case, because we do want to talk a little bit about Walking Dead.
We do have another review.
Were we doing the Tales from the Crypt?
No, we actually kind of we didn't actually finalize that.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't even announce that one. But I mean, if you want to, I mean, it's worth noting that there's 3 cuts of Vault of Terror. Vault of Horror. Wait.
Yes.
Vault of Horror. Yes.
Yeah, we can. We can throw that out there. We should get to Walking Dead, I guess. Our commentary show will take a few minutes to cover that, and maybe I'll do a quick solo of Zombeavers myself if we get it, because I don't know. I would strongly assume that we're going to that.
You got a couple days.
Yeah, I should get it soon, because I was like, God, if it's in, a day, maybe 2 max. So I'm thinking I should definitely have it by Monday. If not, I will have to check. But yes, Walking Dead. We've got the.
Before we jump in, I'm just going to give the warning. This is spoiler time for terror TV terror talk. So if you have not watched The Walking Dead, good night, and do not listen. Is all I'm saying, because we will be very spoilerish in our final segment to discuss the mid-season finale.
That's why we save it for last. It's funny when you look at Facebook. Actually, I think maybe it was Chris, but I saw one person that must have had it spoiled for them. It's like, you motherfuckers, it's only been 1 fucking day, and you have to be the first fucking person. I mean, there were like so many fucks in a small paragraph. But I don't know. I would, with Walking Dead, particularly when somebody dies. If a major character dies and you're going to go on Facebook, you're going to find out. I mean, I'm almost at the max on friends on Facebook, and they're all horror people pretty much. So it's like, you're going to find out.
Yeah, you have to know better than to go on to social media if there's an event television show like, the season finale of Walking Dead. I'm still 2 episodes behind on Sons of Anarchy, so I know I got to catch up before this Sunday's. Otherwise, or this week or next week's finale. Otherwise, I'm fucked. So I
Sons
get
of Anarchy is like one of the big shows that I have not watched yet. I finally got into Breaking Bad, but that's probably like one of the big ones left that I haven't ever visited. But
I was a huge S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, so this was kind of a lot of the same people, so I had to jump right in. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s probably still one of my favorite television shows.
Yeah, it was a revolutionary show at the time. But yes, Walking Dead. What's funny? I want to briefly bring up something on Talking Dead first. Were you feeling really bad for Emily Kinney? I mean, she couldn't not cry for the entire hour.
I was. I was just like, you're supposed to comfort us in this hour, not make us feel worse.
Well, and what's funny, because I have to ask this, because I actually do have a friend, Molly, if you're listening, who absolutely fucking hates Beth. I had a big argument. I like Beth. Do you like Beth? Are you on the Beth train?
Yeah. You know, it's funny because she was never a huge important character, and I can kind of get why someone would have an issue. She hasn't really done much. I mean,
but she's evolved.
She has, but I also partly think that they did that so this death would be more impactful. She's always just been a second thought character. I mean, honestly, once they did that tease with Daryl, she became important, and killing her off becomes a bigger deal.
Mhm. Mhm.
This in no way was anything like Herschel.
No, it wasn't quite that. I mean, I do feel come February we probably won't be talking a whole lot about Beth anymore. But I thought she was an interesting character. I mean, she really went through, you know, an entire arc. I mean, she was, you know, kind of the sweet girl who became the suicidal girl who kind of became, you know, a bit of a badass. I enjoyed her character quite a bit. I knew someone was fucked because, you know, mid-season finale, I mean, they do tend to kill people. And I don't know. I've been saying for a long time, you know, Glenn and or Maggie, but I don't know, you know, because knowing certain things in the comic books, you know, I don't know how they're going to flip certain deaths around. I mean, there are still some people that are dead that are still alive, but well, one person in particular that at least I know of. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a hell of a finale. It's I mean, I've always said really when they're on the road, that's when the show seems to be at its strong point. But of course, it seems like they're getting ready to go to a new setting. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I was not totally shocked that Beth died because I don't know, her character seemed a little bit like going in, and they talked about on Talking Dead where she was, you know, any time you're like kind of giving like a moral speech to someone, you know, it's like, oh, it's time for you to go. But what did you think? I mean, do you think any of these I don't know, the hospital group will join the cast or not? Yeah,
it is funny because I tend to watch this with my son because he got into it somewhere, I want to say somewhere last season and caught all the way up, so we tend to watch them. And I was like, because I was wondering if anyone was going to join, and it looked like I don't know the proper way. The Asian gentleman all the way to the right was about to, right before they cut. But you could definitely see a few people were kind of like thinking about it. So I think we'll get a couple. I'm kind of, you know, curious to see who. I mean, I know. I can't even. Everybody hates Chris. What's his name? Tyler?
Noah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. They showed him, so I kind of knew that was kind of the gimme. But yeah, it was definitely a really good mid-season finale. It's funny because they call them the mid-season finales, but it's almost like they have their little arc, all the way through. Because I think when we come back, it's going to be something totally different.
Yeah, I mean, they're going in the comics. I mean, obviously they're going to the Alexandria safe zone. I mean, they've already kind of given that away. And in the comics, which isn't necessarily what they're going to do in the show, and again, I don't know everything in the comics, but I know it's like a group of safe zones, and then they have the motorcycle gang, the Saviors, I believe, and that's where the big villain, Negan, I guess is his name, sort of comes in. He sort of leads this biker gang / cult that has like all the big guns, and you know they're paying like basically to be protected by the Saviors, and he's kind of similar to the governor, only a more, you know, outwardly crazy guy. He doesn't bother hiding it. And I don't know, he could be like the big heavy for the last part of the show for the next few seasons or whatever, because I don't know if they're grooming the spinoff to be a replacement or how that'll work, because I'm not sure where they are up to in the comics, but I believe like the Negan stuff is kind of where it's left off. I could be wrong.
Right. Kind of, since I know we're kind of running short on time, I did want to bring up Morgan.
Yes. Where the fuck is Morgan?
Well, you saw the tag at the end, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now he knows, where Rick's going. Do you think he's a friend or a foe? Because last time we saw him, he was kind of all not in the best place, and we really don't know from the little teases we've got from On the Way to Terminus and stuff. We know he's been hot on their trail, I don't think on purpose, but now he knows, he has a map, he knows where Rick is, he knows, the new world needs Rick Grimes. So
yeah, I mean, I don't see why he would be trying to harm them. I mean, he was a little bit batshit, but he was coherent enough at the end of that. I mean, I don't see why he would be a foe, but then again, I don't know. Why doesn't he just, come and just say, "Hey, Rick, here I am." I don't know. He's a very interesting character. I thought for a long time that he would be great for a spinoff if it were going to take place in, in the same area, which I don't think is necessarily a good idea. But since we don't have a lot of time, what do you think about the spinoff? Because I'm really, really hoping that it doesn't take place in rural Atlanta or someplace similar to that.
They did kind of say, in one of the casting bits of news, it's not going to be rural Atlanta. It's going to be, I can't remember. I want to say it was Pennsylvania, but don't quote me on that. I didn't know we were jumping into this. I do know it's supposed to be like taking place at a parallel timeline basically from the outbreak. So I think we're going to get. See, if it was, Philadelphia or something, I think we're going to get an urban setting, or a little bit more of an urban setting. Yeah.
Pennsylvania can go both ways, though. It's kind of a big state. There's
that is true.
Kind of the backroads area as well. But what's your stance on crossover or any potential crossover? Do you think that's a good idea, or should they just stay away from that?
I think if it's organic, they can, although they don't seem to travel as much. Like, if you look at something like Z Nation, they're purposely traveling across the country, where this is, they kind of stay in their little area. So, I don't want to see them taking a road trip to, Philly just to come back to Atlanta. That just isn't going to make sense. So if they can do it organically, if the groups are going in a similar direction, it can happen. I mean, who's to say that this whole Morgan thing isn't something to push him off over on that show? I mean, just to remind you he's out there. I don't think that's the case.
That I had thought of, actually, which could be kind of an interesting tease if they can kind of keep that up long enough to sort of, connect him. Because, I think he's a very strong actor. You're already familiar with him. He's somebody that's been with us since the beginning of Walking Dead.
But the problem is if they're doing a similar timeline, though. Because they'll be starting from, the outbreak.
Yeah, but they have confirmed then that they're picking this one up. I mean, there's so many different ways. I don't know if they'd pull a Lost where they do more flashbacks or, because, I don't know if you watched Lost, but a good chunk of that show was flashbacks. So.
Yeah, they actually could do that if they jump in now and just kind of how it started. They did a lot of flashbacking, but we're running blow under a minute, so we're going to go into a little bit of overtime. I just wanted to, before we get into overtime. So if you're listening to this downloaded, you're fine. But if you're listening live, I'm just saying. Next week we will have our Jack Frost commentary for a special holiday edition, I guess, and also join Tuesdays. Listen to the Calling Hours. Also another Horror Society show, so don't forget about them. Anything else before we're off the live?
No, but we will definitely tune into Calling Hours, and Jack Frost is going to be a hilarious commentary. And there is no commentary track for that, so you'll be able to finally listen to it with a commentary track with two guys that had nothing to do with the movie, but were nonetheless fans. And just think, while you're watching...
I want to say you'll have some, well, we're already in the archive, I was going to say you'll have some good Shannon Elizabeth stories, but, back to Walking Dead.
While Shannon Elizabeth is getting, porked in the shower, technically I'll even be in the Caribbean. So I don't know, maybe we should have done a Jack Frost 2 commentary. So, while you're listening, I will be in the Caribbean.
Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that the first. We still have to figure out what we're doing that week. So we're gonna have to discuss that off air. But okay, Morgan, yes. I don't know. I mean, a lot depends. I mean, it can be kind of cheap when you rely on another show to boost your show. Walking Dead has been picked up for at least 2 more seasons, I believe. Yeah.
I want to say that was the last news that I heard, that there's at least 2 more seasons. So, I mean, at least for a time, they're going to be running parallel. And I don't know. It's got to be totally different.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I don't know if you've been keeping up with them, but that's why I've been enjoying Z Nation. It's different. They have a goal. We're going A to B. We got to get him. He's the cure. And it's just funny. I think they did that on purpose to kind of beat Walking Dead to that.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying that one.
Show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's nowhere near Hannibal level or Walking Dead level, but it's a fun show. I mean, I'm only like a few episodes in, but it's not bad.
I'm still a few behind myself. I was actually disappointed that the series has got announced for home video, and it's going to be DVD only also. I am not liking this trend, especially when it comes to TV shows. And then I was like, yes, well, Asylum's known for doing Best Buy exclusives of their Blu-rays. Yeah. And then I realized Universal's the one handling this series on home video.
That's too bad. So, I mean, you hate picking something up and watching it in lesser quality than you saw it on TV.
Oh, that drives me insane.
Yeah, but have they definitely not been picked up for season 2?
Not that I've heard, though. The packaging did say season 1 as of right now, so that's a positive. It didn't say the complete series.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know they didn't get off to the best start, but of course, the day it's on, I mean, you're not going to destroy the ratings or anything. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, the keys to success with the spinoff are, I mean, number one, it's got to be totally different. I hope this lead doesn't have any Rick Grimes qualities. I've always said maybe a more selfish character, like maybe kind of a sleazy attorney type or something. It's like you're not too sleazy that you hate him, but maybe more of a Walter White type character, that really has more flaws. I mean, because Rick, when you think about it, is sort of your typical hero. I mean, the guy's pretty much a good guy. I mean, all-American good guy, certainly leading into the apocalypse. So yeah, I hopefully they'll have a lot of more city-like people. I'd like to see, how they would deal with it. I think California would have been a great location for Walking Dead. personally.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Schwarzenegger.
Yes. Yeah, it would be pretty cool to see Schwarzenegger show up in a zombie flick. Wasn't that rumored a while back?
He's doing that zombie film. I thought the Lionsgate one.
Is it still a go?
I thought it was done. I was actually trying to find out if we have a location for the spin-off series. No, okay. I could have sworn I heard so. Okay, I am actually going to double check right now. It had like a girl's name. I remember that. Maggie, wasn't it? Maggie completed. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's completed. It's saying directed.
Okay. Well, we will get to live out our dream of seeing Schwarzenegger fight zombies. Hopefully it'll go better than Seagal fighting vampires, because, I was excited for that one. And I didn't hate that one, so I don't know. Even Gallow Walkers with Wesley Snipes, it was kind of a mess, but I still kind of enjoyed the movie.
You just wanted some more Blade action.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know, but hopefully Schwarzenegger will do okay.
Well, it's all Triple H's fault and his racist shirt that drove Wesley Snipes over the edge.
Yes, he did it to CM Punk, and he did it to Wesley Snipes, apparently. So yeah. But we'll see. I think the spinoff will be pretty cool. I don't know. Walking Dead's so huge. The bar is just so high for that. It can't just really be just an entertaining show. And I hope they don't fall into the Star Trek trap where, Next Generation and DS9 were fantastic, but then they tried to do too much, and Voyager, and then Enterprise certainly suffered quite a bit. So hopefully they have enough creative juices to make it work.
That's what I would like them doing this at the same time that one of the shows. I mean, which one's he going to focus on?
And that is a huge issue, because that's what happened with Star Trek. I mean, I don't know if you're a Trek fan, but you had greatness, then you kind of started to get more mediocre, and then Enterprise was horrible.
Even the thing with that is they weren't running at the same time.
Well, DS9 and Voyager were.
Okay,
and,
those two were.
And
okay.
Well, Next Generation was for the first season of DS9. They were on their last season, so.
Okay, so well, you could tell how much of a Trekkie fan I am that I didn't even know that. I thought they all ran separately, but I do remember the two series.
Enterprise
at the same time.
did, but I think they ran out of just setting something in that universe. It's like, okay, well, we just came off of technically altogether 21 seasons between those three shows. We just didn't have enough left to make Enterprise anything special.
If he could have just leaped out of that series, he would have been fine.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, again, and it's also zombies, and there's a big question there on Prime, main, Walking Dead's the #1 show on cable. Can we really support two zombie shows together? Because obviously this isn't going to be like Z Nation where it's all good fun. It has to be a water cooler show that gets people talking. From week to week. If there's a dip in quality, even a small dip, it's going to be noticeable. I mean, it's happened recently with the Criminal Minds spinoff. There have been a few others. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm rooting for it, and I hope they don't. I'm assuming they're going to air at different times so that we.
Yeah, I'm assuming they'll have to kind of do it like when one season's done, the other one will start. I mean, you don't want them just on different. You don't want them like at the same time, because I know when Walking Dead's done, they'll throw in like Mad Men, and then they'll do another show. Just kind of throw it in the rotation with that, because I know AMC's not, a lot. Mad Men's ending. They have a few others. I mean, so.
Well,
yeah,
you don't want,
bad, but
John Doe died on the spinoff this week. Oh, Carol died. You can't.
Yeah.
You gotta, manage that. You can't. So, but I mean, the good news is, if it's a great show, then we don't have that long ass wait. I mean, even February is a long wait. Walking Dead is something that's sort of become, my Sunday ritual, like it is for many of us, and I look forward to it all week. So, Walking Dead.
I wonder if this means Chris Harder gets a new gig.
That is interesting, because will Talking Dead just be Talking Dead, and he's going to cover the new show too? I would assume so.
Maybe they'll just give him a half hour.
I don't know. Yeah, they may want to start off with a half hour, because I don't know if you have the crazed fans that'll come in. Well, the debut is going to be very popular. The question is there going to be a drop off?
Yeah, because they used to vary the length of Talking. It used to be half hour every week, and then once in a while they give them an hour for like a premiere or a finale, but now it's just an hour every week. So maybe they can do the same. Just put CM Punk on, and we'll tune in.
CM Punk is Santa, I'm telling you.
Yes, but then where's Yvette Nicole Brown going to sit?
That's true. That's true. He seems to be his. I see a buddy cop movie coming with Punk and her. But yes, we're well into overtime now. So once again, tune into our Jack Frost show, same time next week. We probably won't have a show after that, because I will. Be getting back from the Caribbean, but we will be back time for Christmas, I suppose.
We will have a show. It will be off 2 weeks.
Yeah, we might have our schedule a little bit flipped, depending, because we have our Christmas vacation coming up. But yeah, hey, next week you're good, and tune into our Facebook page for more news.
Yes, we'll keep everyone updated. It is Christmas, so.
Exactly.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. It is the holidays. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
I don't know if we have to be politically correct. I mean, it's Christmas, and whatever else you celebrate is awesome.
Yes. If there's a horror movie about it, we're on it.
Exactly. Yeah, we love all of our fans, whether you celebrate Kwanzaa or God, I'm drawing a blank. Kwanzaa was the first thing that came to my mind. Passover.
Hanukkah?
There you go.
Hanukkah. No, Hanukkah. Yeah. Wait. Okay, I was right. And
we're pissing off our Jewish fans, so we should probably just cut it here.
Hey, Krampus is going to come get us now.
Yes, exactly. So we love that you listen to the show, unless you're a fucking Swede. We hate Swedes, but except for that, you're good.
I'll hate me all the Dan.
We'll see you guys.
All right, good night.
It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all pots, all of them.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid!
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Gingy. Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. With black
dies, the devil sighs.
Have you checked the children?
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I think he's in trouble. Julie, this guy, he can't take a joke. He stinks.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
Look, just a flesh wound.
With AT&T, take your U.S. plan to Mexico at no extra charge. When you choose an eligible plan, place calls, send text, and enjoy your plan data in Mexico like in the U.S. It's that easy. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Subject to plan rates, terms, international fees, overage charges, or data speeds. Restrictions apply. See store for plan details.